Hello, everyone. Welcome to the New York City Public Schools presentation, Teaching Students with Disabilities. So I'm going to speak to you about understanding the special education landscape. I'm going to quickly run through the different classrooms we have across New York City and what you can expect across the continuum of special education programs and services, as well as in different classroom program models and programs. So you can see here, this is a very high level overview of various special education programs that are available here in New York City. You may have heard the term inclusion before. This is where students with disabilities or individualized education programs or IEPs are included in the general education classroom with peers without disabilities. So this would be any typical classroom. You just happen to have a student with an IEP in the class. We also have various special education programs that are recommended on a student's IEP. So that might include what we call SETs or ICT or special class. You may see students with related services only on their IEPs. So you may have a student in your class who receives instruction just with the rest of the class without IEPs, but then they may be pulled out for maybe speech or occupational therapy or counseling or other services that we call related services. And sometimes those providers push into the classroom as well as a teacher. You are collaborating with other professionals to make those schedules work in the best way for the student. We have specialized programs, and I'll go over those more in a bit. We have specialized schools here in New York City. We actually have an entire district. It's a non-geographic district, but it is considered a district, District 75. These are all schools that are just for students with IEPs, and I will again go into each of these shortly. Home and hospital instruction sound just like what it is, which is instruction in the home or the hospital. Bilingual special education is when multiple languages are used for instruction, and of course, preschool education for our youngest learners. So our neighborhood schools are ideally where we want all of our students to be. So we provide a lot of different programs in neighborhood schools. These would be recommended on a child's IEP by subject. So a student may have special education teaching support services. This is when a teacher actually supports the student in their general education class. They can go from class to class and support different groups of students who have this recommendation on their IEP. They can pull students out as needed and do some small group instruction. And they might also have something called a consultation, where their SETS teacher is working directly with the teacher of the class, the gen ed class, to plan for lessons and create modifications or how to implement the students' accommodations across the content. So that's a really powerful model that we have here in New York City. We also have integrated co-teaching, which is when there's multiple teachers to a class, special education and the gen ed teacher co-teaching a class together with equal responsibilities. We have specialized programs like NEST, Horizons, AIMS, ACES, iRead, and PATH, and I will talk about these more in a bit. Special classes, you may also have heard these as self-contained, which is language we used to use. These are classes that are only students with IEPs. And related services, again, these are just like OT, speech, physical therapy, counseling that students may get inside or outside the classroom. This all happens in our neighborhood schools. Now, this is just the visual of the continuum. You can see it instead of just hearing about it. You can take a look here. The arrows are going both ways because a student may move across the continuum at different times in their education career. They may move across the continuum for different subjects. So that depending on the kind of special education teacher you may be, you'll have students in a variety of these different programs across the continuum. So integrated co-teaching or ICT, this is extremely popular among families because you're in a classroom that has both a gen ed teacher and a special education teacher who can meet the needs of all learners. So it's really a team effort. And as you can see, provided exclusively in gen ed classes. students with and without IEPs. And as I stated, there's 2 teachers, 1 general education teacher, 1 special education teacher. Now, specialized programs, these are programs for autistic students. They come with high qualified folks who have a lot of training, and you get additional support from central coaches who make sure you are able to offer focused instruction, social, emotional, and behavioral supports for your autistic learners within the community schools. We also have the ACEs program, which is a specialized program for students with an intellectual disability or multiple disabilities in a special class in their neighborhood community school. We want to call these out because there has been a big push over the last few years to reimagine special education with a heavy push on expanding our specialized programs across the city. So you may see a lot of openings in these types of programs. They are very innovative, and they're really the future where our special education classrooms are headed. So with our specialized programs, we have NEST, which is a strength-based inclusive classroom program for autistic New York City Public Schools students. There's 4 to 6 autistic learners that are nested within a larger ICT classroom. Some characteristics of a NEST classroom include academic and social visual supports, verbal problem solving, flexible seating, explicit instructions, individualized support. The school-based individualized education program, or IEP, team determines that this specialized program is the best fit for the students enrolled. Next, we have Horizon. Horizon is a small class setting in your neighborhood public school for autistic learners. 8 students. They get focused social skills practice and visual strategies. Some characteristics include social curriculum, sensory tools, practices based on principles of ABA, applied behavioral analysis. The school-based individualized education program team once again determines if this program is the best fit for the students that are enrolled. Now, AIMS is a structured small classroom in a neighborhood school for autistic New York City Public School students. So 6 autistic learners get the individualized and small group attention they need to make progress. Some characteristics here include skill building, communication and language development, individualized learning. And once again, the IEP team determines if this program is the best fit for the students that are enrolled. Then we have Academic Career and Essential Skills Program, or ACEs. They support students with an intellectual or multiple education disability classification in community schools, so from all of our districts. So it's a special class, so you have 12 students and 1 teacher and 1 paraprofessional in the lower grades, or in a high school setting, you would have 15 students and 1 teacher. So the ACEs program provides students with an opportunity to learn academic employment and independent living skills in small classes in their community school. These programs use the standard public school academic framework with similar activities found in non-specialized classes, but with modifications to the instructional environment and curriculum. Individual adaptations are tailored to address the needs of each student. The program emphasizes inclusive opportunities for students to join the school community and engage with peers who do not have IEPs. The ACE program students have access to all opportunities in the school community through meaningful engagement. So integrated co-teaching, or ICT, it's provided in the general education classroom, but some students have IEPs with the ICT program recommended for specific subjects. And as you can see, up to 40% of students with IEPs along students without IEPs. So as you can see, there's a range of number of students. The traditional class size, 25 to 33 students with 10 to 12 with IEPs. The new class size laws will be changing that. So it'll be 20 to 23 and 8 to 9 with IEPs. Same with the high school, it's a little bit different, up to 34 students and up to 12 with IEPs. And then once again, with the new class law, it's up to 25 students with 10 students having IEPs. And as you can see, the range of number of teachers, one general education and one special education teacher. So what would your experience be like as a special education teacher in an ICT classroom? So you might provide access to the general education curriculum and specially designed instruction to meet students' individual needs. You might work in partnership with the teachers to plan rigorous classroom lessons to help students meet their goals. Um, Also manage an IEP caseload and support families in understanding their child's IEP. And then finally, you might provide services to some students for all subjects or on an individual subject basis. And now here we have a special class. So a special class is a class consisting of students with disabilities who have been grouped together because of similar individual needs so that they can receive specially designed instruction. In special classes, the content, methodology, or delivery instruction is adapted to ensure the student has access to the general curriculum and the opportunity to meet the educational standards that apply to all students. Special class services serve students with disabilities whose needs cannot be met within a general education class. Even with the use of supplementary aids and services, the special education teacher is responsible for designing and delivering instruction in special classes. Paraprofessionals, they may also provide support in the classroom. Students receiving class services may also require additional support such as related services, adaptive physical education, accessible educational materials, assistive technology, and travel training. So as you can see, the range of students. So for elementary and middle school, 6 to 12 students within a 3-year age range. And the range of teachers is one teacher or a teacher and a paraprofessional. And then for the high school, it's 16 to 15 students with a 3-year age range and one teacher or a teacher and a paraprofessional. So as a teacher providing special services, you will design and deliver content to the students in your class or classes by adapting the content, methodology, or delivery of instruction to ensure students are given the opportunity to meet educational standards. You're going to work together with a paraprofessional. You're going to manage an IEP caseload and support families in understanding their child's IEP. And you may serve students with disabilities in special class and ICT or other programs. So special education teacher support services. So in addition to working as a special education teacher in an ICT or a special class setting, there is another special education teacher role in general education settings, providing special education teacher support services or SETs. Special education teachers who provide SETs are typically intended to help students remain in the general education classroom, and they work with individual students or groups of students in the classroom or in another location. There are also cases where SETs services are provided in ICT or special classes in the case of additional supports needed. So as a special education teacher providing SETs, you might provide specially designed or supplemental instruction to support the participation of students with disabilities in the general education classroom, providing consultation to the student general education teacher, collaborating with general education teachers, manage an IEP caseload and support families in understanding their child's IEP, and then finally providing instruction in special classes or integrated co-teaching classes in addition to providing SET services. So District 75, once again, this is a non-geographic district providing quality and rigorous individualized education programs to students with significant challenges, such as autism spectrum disorders, significant cognitive delays, emotional disabilities, sensory impairment, and multiple physical disabilities. There are many benefits of teaching in District 75, including the ability to experience a self-contained classroom with diverse abilities, the ability to collaborate with paras, related service providers, and school counselors to create individualized instruction that promotes the learning and development of core skills and subjects. The opportunity to apply different teaching models, including work shop model, station model, and small group instruction, and the opportunity um, uh, to monitor student learning through independent work and alternative assessment. So tons of great opportunities and benefits to teaching in District 75 schools. So there are different class sizes in District 75 programs. This table shows you the number of students, teachers, and paraprofession in each class type. Students are assigned to a class type based on their IEP. So as an example, an 811 class contains 8 students, 1 teacher, and 1 paraprofessional. And on the next few slides, we'll talk through what the teacher experience may be like in each of these settings. So as a teacher in a 6-1+1 classroom, you'll be working with students who have very high needs in multiple areas, including academic, social, or interpersonal development, physical development, and management. Students' behavior may be characterized as aggressive, self-abusive, or extremely withdrawn with severe difficulties in the acquisition and generalization of language and social skill development. You will be providing highly intensive individual programming, continual adult supervision, a specialized behavioral management program, and potentially a program of speech language therapy. That's the 611 teacher. So as an 811 teacher, you'll be working with students whose needs are significant and require constant intensive supervision and a significant degree of individualized attention, intervention, and behavioral management. As a 12-1+4 teacher, I'll be working with 4 paraprofessionals to serve students with severe and multiple disabilities with limited language, academic, and independent functioning. These students require a program primarily of engagement and treatment, including training in daily living skills and the development of communication skills, sensory stimulation, and therapeutic interventions. And then as a 12-1 teacher, you'd be working with students with academic or behavioral management needs that interfere with the instructional process. You might be expected to provide additional adult support and specialized instruction. We're going to transition now to touching on a few additional special education settings before moving into the next section. So home and hospital instruction. So in addition to providing special education services through general education settings in District 75, New York City Public Schools also provides home and hospital instruction under unique circumstances. Home and hospital instruction is provided to school-age children who are unable to attend school due to orthopedic, non-orthopedic, medical, or psychiatric reasons, or to a public, private, and parochial students who are hospitalized for chronic, acute, medical, orthopedic, or psychiatric conditions. Now, this instruction is intended to limit the educational effects of long-term absence. So it serves students in all 5 boroughs, and it's an interim non-diploma granting program and operates both during the day and after school hours. Now, bilingual special education services are provided to students in special education settings who require a language of instruction other than English, with the goal of supporting English language learners who benefit from culturally and linguistically responsive instruction that address cognitive, academic, and linguistic needs. If you are fluent in another language, look into obtaining a bilingual extension to become a bilingual special education teacher. You can also find more about extended certification programs on the teachnyc.net website. So yeah, so if you do speak another language, this is a great opportunity for you. So New York City offers unique early childhood teaching opportunities, and this extends to preschool special education opportunities as well. Studies show that children enrolled in quality early childhood are better prepared academically, socially, and emotionally to succeed in elementary school and beyond. This is why New York City Public Schools has made it a priority over the last several years to provide high quality early childhood programs for all New Yorkers. So just wanted to show all of this information. There's also community-based 410 and 4201 programs, which are independent or community-based organizations that contract with New York City public schools to provide free early childhood programs for students with disabilities. They're also known as CBOs or community-based organizations. Um, each community-based program employs its own teachers, and they are not employees of New York City. There's been benefits packages and union representation will vary based on the CBO program. But as you can see, we have district schools, pre-K centers, and those CBOs. So I just wanted to kind of share a little bit about that. And these are just the different preschool classrooms. So as you can see, special classes and integrated settings. Um, the class sizes, mixed age. So there could be 18, 10 general ed, and 8 special education, or 18, 12 gen ed, or 6 special education. And then moving on to special class, class size of 12, 8, or 6. And as you can see, the teachers for special class and integrated settings is one special education teacher and one gen ed teacher, 2 teacher assistants, and then as you can see, the related service providers. So lots of um, different things in regards to preschool classrooms and special education. So that's really going to kind of bring an end to our info session on the special education landscape. Just going to kind of provide you with some next steps as you move forward and you start your teaching career. So first, visit our online support center for 24/7 support with the application and hiring process. The support center contains hundreds of articles about every stage of the application and hiring process, as well as a contact us button where you can submit your questions to our TRQ help desk for personalized response. This is where you want to go if you have any questions that you have. And then upcoming events. So first, I want to say our application, this is January 7th, 2026, is actually going to open next week, Monday, January 12th. So for those who are certified or on track to be certified by September 2027, we September 2026, excuse me, we highly recommend completing the application when it does launch. But we also want you to join one of our events. We have great events coming up down the pipe. So go to teachnyc.net/events, and you'll be able to see all the different events that we have. Those that are going to be certified soon are ready to complete the application when it opens. We highly recommend joining one of our certified teacher candidate information sessions. That is where you're going to really find information about how to apply, all the information that you're going to need to apply. So highly recommend joining one of our events. And then moving on, following us on social media. We're highly active on our platforms, LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram. So please follow us as we continue to create updates about the application, recruitment events that we have throughout the season, and about news, what's going on in our schools. So that's really it, everyone. So thank you so much for joining us. Hope you all have a great evening. Thank you so much.